A huge part of that period, and so many other things as well, is going to join me live on the phone right now. Guitarist, vocalist, bass player, songwriter, the entire gamut. The great Ritchie Scarlet. Ritchie.
Eddie, how you doing, baby?
Good, man. How you feeling? All right.
I'm feeling wonderful. Just great, man.
Saw you at the Chiller show just before the hurricane came in New Jersey.
Yeah, sure. That hurricane came right after that. We lucked out, actually.
I know. I was Ace was there as well, and I was said he was supposed to hang around to do something on my TV show. He said. He said, if this show's not going to happen, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I said, you know what? Get out of here, because I think this hurricane is going to be bad, and it's a good thing he did, because he got out just under the wire. It was kind of a scary time.
Yeah, it sure was. But it was great to see you. It was quick, short, and sweet, but I know how busy you were, and myself. So what's happening, Eddie Trump?
Well, you were busy because you're getting ready. You were promoting this record we're going to talk about in a second. But before we do, your history with Ace, for me, it's I loved all the stuff you did with Ace, but it kind of, you coming in just for that third album when you were in the band before. I mean, do you feel there's some unfinished business there? I guess that's the question I'm trying to ask.
No, I think after the release of Trouble Walking, I think that was, I think I took care of business at that point. As far as I got to come back, and I think that record was a great record, and I'm very proud of it, and I know Ace was, so I can't say that it was unfinished. I think if I didn't get a chance to do that record with him, then I would say maybe it would be unfinished. But no, I think that was a great statement for myself, and coming back with Ace at that point, Trouble Walking, absolutely.
No, well, it was a great record, but my point is that you were, of course, part of the original Frehley's Comet, and then the first album you weren't on, and it was great that you came back, because I thought, and I've always thought, that you were such a good, kind of right hand to him in that band, and there's a lot of people that feel that way as well. So I guess what I'm saying is, would you ever consider revisiting that? I mean, there's a lot of people that have said it would be great to see the original Frehley's Comet together again. Would you ever consider doing that? Because the other reason why I bring it up, Ritchie, is I'm looking at your new album, and I know that you've got another former member of that band playing on it, in John Regan.
Yes. Oh well, of course I would love to. There's a certain mojo that I have with Ace Frehley that is very magical and very special to me. And it certainly doesn't happen to me that often when I play with other guitar players, but it always was there with Ace. And so, it certainly is a part of me, and I would certainly welcome it again. I mean, it's just a very special unity that we have. And, of course I would. I would welcome it.
And you got up and jammed with him recently in New York, right?
Yes, I did, and that was a great example of that mojo world that we go into after not playing with him for so long, and then just stepping up there and just that magical feeling that only happens. You only get that chemistry with so many people on Earth, and Ace and I have that chemistry, and it's just there. And that was another night where it just proved to me that it never went away, and it's just special. And it's something that I definitely hold dearly, and that I appreciate.
It's Eddie Trunk talking live with Ritchie Scarlet. Ritchie has a new album that's just come out called I Plead the Fifth. Tell me a little bit about this, Ritchie. Before we let you go, of course, I'm going to play a track from it, but tell me about putting this one together.
Well, this record is really doing well. I plead the fifth, Eddie, because I'm always guilty, man. And it's
even if you're not, you are, right?
It was brilliantly produced by Tarek Solangi, and it's new stuff that I just wrote, and it's actually charting across the country as we speak on a lot of different stations, and it has lots of great guests on it, including John Regan from Frehley's Comet, which was the first time I had recorded with John in many years, so to have him on it was very special. And Dennis Dunaway, the Hall of Famer, my buddy from Alice Cooper, of course, on bass. All kinds of people, Michael Clavana, and
you got Bumblefoot. You got my buddy Bumble on here too, huh?
Bumblefoot from Guns N' Roses, and Joey Mallard from Badfinger, Louis Spagnola, and Jonathan Walsh, and Arno Heck, the great sax player who played with the Stones. And I was just very fortunate to have all these great talented people and have such a great production. And the cover by Len D'Alessio, one of the great rock photographers, and the whole package was just something that came together, and it's just been a beautiful thing. And it's taking off, and it can be purchased on iTunes. You can download it in a CD baby for MP3s, or you can get it physically right off my website, RitchieScarlet.com. I Plead the Fifth is definitely moving, Eddie, and I want to thank you also for all the support you gave me throughout those early Comet years, and all the support you continue to give me, and all the other people in rock and roll that appreciate your work. You're kind of like the Edward R. Murrow or Mike Wallace of rock and roll. I mean, you know what I mean? And that's a compliment. I mean, that's,
Well, thanks. You stick around 30 years like I have, and I guess something good happens. If you just, they realize they can't get rid of me, so they just kind of say, what the hell? He's always going to be around.
No, I'm very proud of what you've accomplished, and it's been years are going by, but we're still rocking, man.
Yeah, we are.
We're not going anywhere.
Well, it's funny, Rich, because when I talk to you and whenever I see you, it's always great because it brings me back to those older years. And for people that don't know, I was the guy that was working at a label, and the first person
I was responsible for Ace getting signed.
Yeah, the first person I signed was Ace.
That's right, man. And so that's that was the beginning of a chapter of my life that I treasure dearly.
But and that's going back, Richie, to the part where how I started this conversation, though, because it always kind of I never could quite figure out, and I'm writing my second book, and I kind of talk about this a little bit in the chapter about Ace, that, I was new to working with Ace at that time when I signed him. I mean, I was a kid, I had just met him, I talked the label into signing him, and I'd seen the band live, and I'd seen them with you. You were in the band right up until that first record was recorded, and it was, we signed Ace Frehley. We didn't sign Ace Frehley's band, and it always was a little bit bittersweet to me because, and it's nothing against Todd or any of the guys that came in there, but you were such a fabric of that, and I never to this day could quite figure out why you weren't part of it from day one.
Well, there's a lot of politics there and stuff, but before I forget, I must also say that this new CD, I Plead the Fifth, was actually recorded by Russ Sage Wilson, did all the drums, and Peter Gallinari did some great keyboards and vocals, and Saul Soka also on vocals. So, but to get back to what you're saying, that was it was a strange to be there at one point and then not, but to put it all focused, like I said earlier, coming back with the Trouble Walking record after Ace had released, I guess, 3 records, I really feel that was his strongest record since his first solo record, that with Kiss, and so that was a way of at least getting back and saying, I'm back, man, and here it is.
Yeah, well, there's great stuff. For people that don't know, Trouble Walking, the third studio album after Kiss for Ace that Ritchie was a big part of, is a phenomenal record. It's just as good as the first one, and the first one after Kiss, it is great stuff on there. So check that out if you, for whatever reason, you didn't the first time around. The song I played, honestly, leading in your interview, Do You from Trouble Walking, is a great cover and all. I wanted to play one of the ones you sang on, Ritchie, but it wasn't in the database here in our computer system. Otherwise, I would. But I'll try to do that for people in the coming weeks. Too Young to
Die would have been the track.
Too Young to Die is a killer one. And, going back to that period again, I'll never forget, there was this young rock band that had just gotten signed to Atlantic that I knew because I've lived in New Jersey my whole life that were growing crazy to meet Ace. And I introduced Ace to this young rock band, and he had 3 of the guys come up and sing backing vocals on that album, and those guys, of course, went on to became famous as Skid Row.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Sebastian...
I remember them, too, when they were a local band in Jersey, and the one thing I can always say about them is when they hit it, and they hit it big, they never changed.
Exactly.
They always gave me the same respect and same, they were always just as cool as they were when I knew them as a local, unknown band. And overnight, they hit it huge, and they did all sing on that record. And Sebastian definitely stepped up too young to die with me. I remember his tour manager was trying to rush him out, and he told me that he was going to sing on it, and he kept to his guns and stayed there and did it. And I guess Snake was on there, and Rachel.
Yeah.
So that was just, and Peter Criss being on that record, and it was all just a great time, very special time. Working with Eddie Kramer was, it's always a thrill working with somebody who worked with Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin and Kiss. So, very much like I Plead the Fifth, that Trouble Walking record was a complete package. And, so I was very fortunate to be part of it, and I'm proud of it. And I'm glad that it's a part of your your rock and roll.
Oh, it's such a special time looking back on it as a kid and being a part of all that. It's just something it's hard to believe how many years have passed since, but it's something that I always think about whenever I see any of the guys from the band or talk to them from that period of time. And Ritchie, I just kind of put this together too. That I mentioned about Sebastian, who at the time was this unknown kid singing in Skid Row when he sang backing vocals with you and Ace on Trouble Walking. But then, of course, flash forward a few years, and you played for a good period of time as Sebastian's guitarist in his solo band.
Yes, I did. I think it was about 3 years of probably the craziest rock and roll debauchery that I was ever part of.
What a shock.
We went all over the world. We went to Japan and Korea and every city in the States and Canada. And it was just an insane, crazy, but wonderful time. And I'd have to say that Sebastian Bach gives 100,000% as a frontman singer, and just can't expect more than him. He lets it all hang, man, and he gives 1,000%, and that's the way I like to do it. Whether you're playing in front of 5 people or 50,000, man.
Yeah, well, no, anytime I've seen you live, there's no question about that.
That was a lot of fun. That whole thing, and it was it's just another part of another chapter in the Ritchie Scarlet book of rock and roll. That's for sure.
And then you've got the history with Mountain and Leslie West and playing bass in that band. Have you done anything recently with Leslie, and you know how he's doing?
Leslie's doing good. Last night I got the chance to play with one of the great blues guitar players in rock history, and that's Johnny Winter. I got up on stage with Johnny Winter last night. What a thrill that was. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because I understand Leslie's doing a track on Johnny's new record. I did get to play with Leslie at the end of the summer for one of Dee Snider's Autism Foundation's shows. And, it was, it's always, and I talk to Corky Lang all the time. And all these people that I play with, it's never really over. It ends, but, I always try to, just had so much experience with each other, and just wild times that it always kind of spins around. And Leslie has a great new record out himself, and so everybody does their thing, but at some point we always seem to touch base, whether it's Leslie and I and Corky and I, or Ace and I, or Sebastian, or whoever, the guys from Alice Cooper that I've worked with, and so it's just it's like a big family that you won't go away, and that's okay. I mean, I appreciate all the moments with it.
I imagine, though, for you, and again, we're talking live with Ritchie Scarlet. His new album is called I Plead the Fifth. We'll play something from it in just a second. But Ritchie, I imagine that for you, it's awesome to play with people like that and be a part of their bands. But I would think, and tell me if I'm wrong, that it would be really rewarding for you to be able to carve out more of a niche with Ritchie Scarlet as a solo act. I mean, is that something you really are going to strive for now and focus on?
I mean, that is probably my ultimate high. I mean, as far as being myself and performing my own songs and my own show.
It's your thing.
Which, that is definitely what it's at, and, what I'm doing right now. Yeah, I'm doing the Cutting Room in New York City. I'll be there on the 22nd of February. I'll be at the Chance in Poughkeepsie on the 16th of February. Poughkeepsie, New York, and just pushing this new record, I Plead the Fifth, and it really is, like you said, it is rewarding because I get to act, I get to be myself. But at the same time, all the people that I have worked for or with always gave me enough space where I was able to at least, express myself to a point where I feel like I contributed to what they were about. And now I'm, with the help of Peter Gallinari and with Sage Wilson, I'm absolutely, doing my own thing now, and that's probably, it's been a long road, Eddie, and I'm just waking up on the road. I'm just like knocking down walls right now, just moving forward and just having a blast, man, enjoying life.
Well, that's what's important, and doing what you love. And
absolutely, I've been very lucky and gifted, that I've been able to make a living and just live this life I've lived, which has been an incredible rock and roll, just a crazy life. And I'm fortunate to still be here and to be on your show and to be talking about it and to still be here and still be able to just enjoy, to enjoy what everybody has something that God gave him, and fortunately he threw me a bone with picking up a guitar, and I was able to reach out and be able to hook up with people that I actually grew up listening to, not only the bands you mentioned, but like even last night just playing with Johnny Winter. These are little bones that I've been thrown throughout my life that really make up, they just make it special.
Well, I'll tell you, man, I mean, you bring up a great point too. It's surviving in this business as long as you have, and being able to still do it at whatever level, and make a living at it, and have fun and do what is your passion.
All about having fun, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You have to have fun, and that's that's what's kept me in the business, because I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough. It's just fun is what it's all about, no matter what you do in life. And so I've been very fortunate, and I'm still having lots of fun, and looking forward to having a lot more.
Well, listen, man, I wish you all the best with this album. Again, Ritchie Scarlet's latest album is called I Plead the Fifth. You can get it at iTunes. You get the physical CD at CD Baby, and also you said your website, is it just RitchieScarlet.com?
Yeah, RitchieScarlet.com. The single is called Without Your Love, and that's the song that's being played all over the country right now. That's and for me, that's a great thrill. It's to have a song that when I look at the charts and I see me up there with all these people that different kind of music, but it is definitely charting. The single is Without Your Love, and the CD, I Plead the Fifth, and that's it. Like I said, it's just been a great ride, Eddie, and I'm not going anywhere, man. I'm staying on this crazy roller coaster and just riding, having a wonderful life.
Well, good for you, man. Do you want me to play Without Your Love, or do you want to play Lips Like Morphine?
Well, I think for your show, Lips Like Morphine, would...
for the hard rockers?
A little heavier. And Michael Covana did that great intro. And, it was a song that a guy named Joe Von T from the Fifth Avenue Vampires turned me on to about 6 years ago. And I can't take credit for writing it, but I certainly heard it. And I said, man, this is a song that I can Scarletize. I can put my stamp on it. And I feel that I did. And it opens the record. It's the opening track. And with Tarek Solange's production and everybody's playing, I think I did, put my stamp on it, and I hope people like it.
Richie, thank you for the time, man. Good luck.
Eddie, I love you, baby. Thank you so much, and keep on doing what you're doing, because all the rock and roll world appreciates it very much.
Well, until they kick me out, I'm not going to stop now. So.
All right.
All right, thank you, man. You be well,
thank
all
you,
right?
Eddie.
All right.
Take care, man.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye. There he goes, Ritchie Scarlet. Always love talking to him, and he is a survivor. Without question, in this world of rock and roll for decades, and he still brings it, man. This guy always brings it live, if you've ever seen him do it as well. So here it is from the new album, I Plead the Fifth, Ritchie Scarlet, and the track is called Lips Like Morphine.